Bert Oliva's Mastermind Circle.
I want to start by welcoming everyone, letting you guys know that I'm excited. We have a good session ready set up for you guys. I waited for a few minutes for more people to show up. I think we have a nice full room. For those of you that don't know who I am, I'm going to show you a video. It's a 1-minute video that shows you exactly what I do. I've been doing seminars for over 21 years now at a professional level. My name is Bert Oliva. So let me start by sharing the video with you.
Bert Oliva is an international orator. He speaks around the world about his experiences and teaches humanology, the scientific study of human potential. He has enchanted audiences all over the world, showing them the power of mind over matter.
He's one of the most talented speakers out here, and I highly recommend him to any type of.
The more prepared you are, the luckier you'll be.
He is the world-renowned authority on leadership and human behavior.
Mr. Bert Oliva.
Bert Oliva!
He's considered the voice of inspiration and motivation. Today he'll pass his knowledge on to all of us.
For over 2 decades, Bert Oliva has touched the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. Bert has a dedicated social media following and an impressive online influence few possess, enabling him to communicate with audiences he has touched near and far.
I think he's one of the greatest motivators out there.
The thing I love about Bert is he's on stage and he gives his heart every single time.
He has developed many programs, recorded audio CDs, and written books, all of which to help those ranging from individuals to corporate and Fortune 500 companies. He has dedicated his life to speaking all over the globe and met some of the most influential and powerful people in the world.
Okay, let's go.
He has also coached highly successful business executives and politicians.
Normally seen as impossible.
I believe that I did it.
An infectious motivator.
So get ready to learn tools that will help you tap into your potential.
Pay attention, this is real stuff.
Get ready to have an experience you won't soon forget. Please help me welcome Bert Oliva.
If you're a member, this is our mission statement. Please be crazy, because I truly believe crazy people succeed. 1, 2, 3, to create a group of like-minded individuals that support, collaborate, and promote each other, who are willing to share and give and receive encouragement to grow together mentally, financially, and spiritually. That means that to grow with balance. Because you don't want to have you want to have all the money in the world and not have that spiritual connection. Because I've been on both sides. Then you have a real strong spiritual connection, and then financially not doing well. And then, maybe mentally not doing well. So here you're going to learn how to create the balance. So you guys ready? I'm ready. Here we go. Today we have a special guest, and this person is going to come up and tell you their story. What this is that the person will come up and they're going to say something that happened in their life. See, I truly believe that everyone has either had a test or a mess in their life. Test is part of a testimony, and mess is part of a message. Then they're going to give us the process. What happened when that happened? Something really bad happened in their life. What really happened? What was done? And at the end, what was the lesson that was learned? And all they have is 5 minutes. At the end of 5 minutes, we will pull them away from the screen and then save your questions to the end, because I'll be bringing that person back in and you can ask your questions. So what's your name?
Jennifer Schubert.
Jennifer. So you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm going to say ready, and you're going to say ready. I say go. Then I have a timer here. And now look at my timer. When it gets down to the 5-minute mark, you're going to hear this. That really says that you have 1 minute left. That's 4 minutes. You hear the bell. You got 1 minute. After 5 minutes, then I'll cut the screen, and then I'll go ahead and bring you back at the end, and everyone will start asking questions.
Okay.
Ready? Take a deep breath. Let's make this happen. 1, 2, 3, go.
My name is Jen Schubert, and I was a PCA for a lady who will remain nameless from 2002 to 2012, who had Lou Gehrig's, or ALS as it's called. She had a lot of needs, physical needs, but she was all mentally capable. I'm talking about the resilience of a woman. She taught me to see disability as ability. And there's no one else on this planet that has done that quite to the extent she did. Imagine inviting PCAs and nurses into your home for 10 years. 10 years in and out of your house. That's what she did. And mixed in with her family, her 4 children. And she taught me how to glow, how to go out in life and do your best and don't take back for anything. There's many days I came in there and I might not have had my head on straight, and she is just, Jennifer, you're here to do a job, but you're here to learn and grow. And that's what we did. Every day I learned how to grow mentally, spiritually, and physically. She was a woman of faith and courage. I think the number one thing I learned from her was that you don't take people for granted. The people that are around you, you get them for maybe one more day. We don't know we're guaranteed. But she taught me a lot. She taught me how to invite people in and let them stay there. And don't give up on people. So the resilience. If I had at least 3 or 4 people come in and out of my house day after day that were complete strangers at first, I would not know what to do with that. She took them in and they became like family. We just became a circle. Her husband was a pastor. He actually ministered my wedding. And you want to talk about chivalry, there's a man with chivalry. Stood by her side 10 plus years that she had Lou Gehrig's and did not waver, did not leave her side. Taught me what it means to be a spouse to the fullest extent. Take all the physical disability away and you still have the heart of a person to learn from. Yeah, so what else can I tell you? There are 4 children left out of the 5, and they are thriving and growing, and their families are growing. If I could go back in time, she's the one person I'd want to spend a day with, to laugh and go to a baseball game, go to a basketball game, go to a movie, do anything a physically able person can do. So yeah, I'd just like to spend one more day with her if I could. There's not much more to say as far as she goes. Just to read, just to read a letter from her parents to her, bring you to tears. They were her beacon of light, and she is shining bright, and she's watching over all of us. So I'm just glad I got to meet a person with so much ability in the midst of defeat and disability. I just hope you all remember where you came from and where you're going, and that when you see a person of disability, just see their heart, see the person that they are, for who they are, for what they're doing in their life, thriving and striving, just like all of us.
Okay, time's up. You did a great job, and I really wanted to thank you for, you actually took the challenge the last time we asked for the next person, whoever that person was, and you were fairly new when we first started doing this. And this is one of the most difficult things. I've been speaking for years all over the world, and one of the most difficult things is a 5-minute speech, because people can talk for 5 hours. Is to get them to say one message in 5 minutes. So this tool here, I'm going to just share with you some of the tools that could be done for other people who are watching. And then at the end, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions regarding your story. But when you're doing a presentation, make sure you get yourself like 3 bullet points to know exactly what you're going to talk about, and then practice. Even this day and time, when I go on stage, I still rehearse before I go on stage. You're talking to the world. I mean, the way you gave your message was great. It was heartfelt. I saw that you engaged. It wasn't like a motivational rah-rah thing. It really came from the heart, and I saw that, and that was beautiful. But then you got lost for words, and then you were like, you know, I already got it. I said everything I had to say. And, you know, maybe you could have had that letter with you and read a piece of the letter, you know, and then that they would have gotten more of the idea. But you did great. What you did was phenomenal. I congratulate you, and thank you for taking that risk, because that's what it takes to grow, taking the challenge. So I'm going to go ahead and take you off now, and then I'm going to bring you back at the end so we can ask questions. Right now, I need you to raise your hand if you want to be the next session speaker. And it will be in 2 weeks, because in 2 weeks we're going to have, next week we're going to have a guest speaker. We're doing an interview. And then after that, we're going to have the next speaker session. So if you're ready, raise your hand. I'm going to keep moving forward. By the way, this will help so many people in so many ways when it comes to business, when it comes to communicating with one another. You'll be surprised, because remember, since you're a member and you thought that you could have done it better again, then all you have to do is participate. Next thing you know, you might be the one doing it next week again. And you get better and better and better. Remember, we're in the business of people. I tell people all the time, we're in the people business. No people, no business. So you need to learn how to communicate with people, especially with this new thing we have in front of us, this device. This is the way people are going to be communicating in the future. You're going to buy cars like this. You're going to go shopping like this. Yeah, we do it now on our phones, but eventually you're going to have a person on the other side talking to you. So the more practice and the more experience you get doing things like this, the better you get, the more business, the better quality of life you're going to have, the more communication skills you're going to have. So I love this exercise, and I really want to thank the 2 people that already have done it. We've been doing it since last month, and this is good. I love it. So let's keep going. Today is about self-deception. That's what we're going to talk about, self-deception. Here. Do you lie to yourself? You see the picture? Look at the picture really closely. You know, the guy doesn't look like the guy in the picture. So think about it. How many times do you do that? And you have to be honest with yourself. You know, maybe you did it when you were younger. Maybe you haven't done it yet, but you're going to do it. One time or another, you'll do this to yourself. The whole thing is being able to get rid of that, because that's one thing that hinders us from success. In fact, I'll give you an example. Self-deception, the act of lying to yourself or making yourself believe something that isn't real or true. So let me break it down more into like types of deception. Wishful thinking. Man, I know if I do this, you know, I might close that deal. You know, don't lie to yourself. If you don't make the phone calls, if you don't do the steps that you need to do in your business or your organization, you'll never get there. I'm going to be the best speaker on the planet. Yeah, they're going to call me. No, they're not. You can wish all day long. You got to take action. I spend most of my days talking on the phone, doing this stuff with other people, doing business deals, talking to people all over the world. When I was growing up, it was really easy. You worked from either 8 in the morning to 8 at night, and you were a top producer. In today's world, it's 24 hours a day. You're dealing with people on the other side of the world. When you're going to sleep, they're waking up. So you got to set a new schedule for yourself. If you want to succeed in this new world, you got to be truthful and honest with yourself. Deception is a killer. Here, I'll give you another one. Rationalize. You know, people that rationalize. Well, you know, maybe it wasn't that bad. You know, maybe if I can just sleep in an extra hour. No. Stop lying to yourself.
It's 8:30.
Success you need to approach it at 100%. You got to be there. No fears. You can't have any fears. You just got to go for it. In fact, look, deny. People live in denial all the time. Sometimes we have good coaches and friends around us that'll tell you, hey, Bert, maybe you should do this. And you're like, nah, not me. I don't need to do that. Because your ego, the biggest downfall in mankind is ego, greed, significant other. Not in that order, but that's the way that breaks down. And basically, right now, I just want to talk about ego. Ego, it's been said, ego is edging God out, or ego edging greatness out. And that's what we do. Check yourself. Check yourself. Be honest and truthful with yourself. Because let me tell you, if you are real and you are connecting with people for real, and they can see it in your eyes, they see you on the video, they see you on stage, you get off the stage and they see the same person, that's how you succeed. But when you fake it till you make it, you're never going to make it. Because once they figure out you're fake, they're done. Especially in the business that we're in. And then if we're in the people business, because everyone is in the people business, that's what happens. So stop denying. Stop, love is blind. Oh no, I love her or I love him. It's okay. They'll get around to it. No, you're enabling the person to be deceptive. You're enabling them not to grow. There's a time in relationship that you got to be honest with each other. And most people don't do that, whether it's your business partner, your friend, or whatever. I have business partners. One of them is in here, actually, and I'm ruthless. Yes, I'm a bad person. But you know what? He has a big smile in his face. Why? Because he sees the success. Not he's wishing it. He doesn't rationalize. He doesn't deny it. He sees success happening in the past 3 weeks alone. Why? Because he's taking action. Because you got to make sure that you got to be honest with the people around you. One thing is you got to realize is this. I get to illusion. We want to succeed, and a lot of times, and I know a lot of multimillionaires, a lot of friends of mine, that one lesson I learned is that you got to become the dumbest person in your organization. Yeah, because our egos won't allow that. You always want to be smarter than everyone else. Every person that I coach, every person that I come in contact with, I want to give them as much information as I can because I want them to surpass me. That gets me something to work hard up to. And guarantee you it's not going to be easy because I'm working all the time. And that's the thing. You want to be able to surround yourself with intelligent people, smarter than you, to help your business grow and your circle grow. Also, illusion. Don't make believe. Have this illusion that it maybe, if I wait long enough, something is going to happen. No, be honest. Stop blaming. Another part of deception is blaming. You're blaming everything because it's someone else's fault. Someone else is creating it. I'm not like that. No, I'm perfect. So look at some of these things. And if you're able to write them down, 80% retention span comes from an action. I tell people all the time. And then if any of these things resonate with you, write them down. Nobody's watching. You write them down. You know why? Because if you write them down, you can go back in your journal and realize, you know what? These are things I got to work on to become a better me. Because that's really what you're working on. You're not working on changing your husband or your significant other. You're not working on changing your children. If you do that, you're doing it all wrong. You work on changing you, creating the person that you want to become, the person that you know you are, and bring that person out, the world will change. I guarantee it. Alienation, staying away from people because, when they go in front of them, sometimes they're a little too rough. So you keep yourself away because that way you don't want to be called on because, again, deception pops up. Does this make sense? I'm sure it does. So let me keep going to give you some tools. Some tools you should work on this week. And really, really write these down because these are some tools that you should work on this week, at least for this week. If it was up to you, I would work on it, for the next 21 days. Stop saying yes. Stop overcommitting and under-delivering. When you mean no. No, it's okay. Believe me. Not if you're saying no to everything. I get that. But when someone says, can you do this? And this is not something you could do and you're going to fail and you're not going to come through. And don't lie to the person. Just say, you know what? No, I'm not going to do. I'll do something else, but I can't do this. Not a problem. ID your self-defense mechanism. What is your defense mechanism? ID it. The more you learn about yourself, the better you are to creating a change. Some of the reasons that people don't change is because they listen to what other people have been saying about them. No, this is something to do with what's called self-evaluation. You want to know what's going on in my life, what's going on in this brain, what's in my soul. Who am I? And maybe right now the world doesn't see that. But if I do these things and I work on myself this way and I apply some of these tools, they will see the person that's in here. Because if not, let me tell you, if you weren't greatness and you weren't good, you wouldn't be here right now. And I'm not just saying that. You could be doing something else, maybe watching television. You can go ahead and maybe listen to the radio. Maybe you can be in the backyard chewing some gum. You can do whatever you want, but you decided to give up an hour of your time to be here to see if there's something you can learn. Does that make sense? So you got to realize that it's not just a motivational pitch. You are greatness. You have amount of potential that's incredible. The only thing is you got to get it out. You got to get it out. Here, acknowledge when you are scared. It's okay. You know, Les taught me that fear is false expectations appearing real. You know, and it's okay to be afraid. But once you approach that fear, once you conquer that fear, you'll realize that, wow, that wasn't that bad. I remember years ago when I did my first speech, I think there was like 30 people in the room. Man, I thought I was going to have a heart attack. And then the following week, they loved it so much, they took it to a different organization. It was 300. Oof. I didn't think I was going to get on the stage. And then once I kept doing it, and I realized, you know what? I love the feeling I get. I love the connection I'm getting. I love the message. I like how they're taking these things. And it was no longer that fear. I still get a little nervous, but it's not that fear. You know, go after it. Go after it so that way you don't have to lie. Deception will start disappearing by itself. Become that person. Here's another one. Notice where you're not being you. And we talked about that a little while ago. You see a lot of people that, and you know, when they're on stage, they're one way. When you talk to them on the phone, they're another way. You know, when you see them, and I tell people, look, imagine this. I'll give you a scenario. Let's say that I talk to Bob, and I talk to Bob, and I know Bob needs to be motivated. So I'm like, Bob, you know, Bob, you're a champ. Bob, we can do this. We can make it happen. Crazy people succeed. Bob, let's make it happen. Then I talk to Chris, and I say, Chris, you know, you're more of a spiritual person. You know, why don't we take some time out and let's meditate and let's just, you know, talk about it and take a deep breath, you know, exhale. Yeah, how do you feel now? Now, what happens is that, you know, Bob knows me as one person. Chris knows me as another person. You walk into the networking event. Next thing you know, you see them both, and they're both talking to each other. What are you going to do? Which of the two are you going to be? They're over there talking. Oh, you know him? Yeah, I know him. He's a powerhouse. He guy's excited. No, he's not. He's a sweetheart. He always meditates. No, he doesn't meditate. Yes, he does. What's going to happen? That happens because you're not being you. Anyone that you meet, anyone that you ever meet that knows me will tell you how it is. You either love them or you love to hate them. What you see is what you get. And I won't change. I don't care if I get off the stage after speaking to 10,000 people and I'm speaking to 500 people. What you see is what you get. And that's what's made me really powerful in my industry. And that's why I want you to do the same thing. You know, I want you to be the best you that you can be. Learn to be humble. Very important. You know, a lot of times, like I said, our ego will take the best of us. Humble. Work on it. It's a process. It's not something that just happened. You know, some people are just way too humble. No, that's when some people are way too humble, it's not that they're humble. It's that they have a major inferiority complex. So they kind of bow their head for everything. No, that's not being humble. You know, work on being humble. Really care about people. Really care about your career. Really care about your product and service, whatever it is that you're doing, and you will succeed. You really got to believe it. And if you don't believe it, it ain't going to happen. Because yes, you might be able to close some good deals because I'll give you some sales skills in one of the sessions. I'll go ahead and give you some embedded commands. I'll go ahead and give you some sales skills. I'll get you all prepared and everything's great. And you'll close. But you're not really going to connect with people. Your business will not, you know, grow. They'll grow to a certain spot and then they will just break apart. So that's what you got to work on is just make sure you're humble and you work on that and stay there. And remember, never forget where you came from because any moment, at any given time, you can actually end up there again. Set yourself to high standards. You are greatness. That's it. You've heard me say this before. You are greatness. And great people do great things. So stop settling for less. You want it, go after it. Even if it seems so far away and it's not attainable, guess what? It is. Because if I've done what I've done in my life, and Tony Robbins done what he's done in his life, and you have Donald Trump, you know, running for political, being the president, and you have Obama, the first black person in the United States, there is no dream that's impossible. The thing is, are your standards high enough? Do you believe that you can make it happen? Do you really believe it? And it's not just a phrase. You have to own it in order for it to happen. Just want to make sure you guys got some of that. The message of the week. Nothing is so easy to deceive. Nothing is so easy as to deceive ourselves for what we wish we readily believe. And I want to talk about next week's session. I hope you enjoyed this session. I hope you got some information. I hope you enjoy some of the stuff that we brought to you today. And next week, we're going to have an interview. However, I want to bring some things up. We have a lot of members, and we're trying to get the system working correctly. We have a Facebook group that's called Mastermind, and I've been adding some of the people there. However, some people have their Facebook blocked. So we're going to work around that and see if they eventually open it up so we can put them in there. And then there, we also opened up a chat room. And what I want is I'm going to give you guys some exercises this week. And I'm going to be coming in there and giving you an exercise. And I want you guys to take the challenge and start applying some of these tools so you guys grow as a community and as a group. And just don't use it to go in there and say good morning, good evening, good afternoon. No, let's use it for power tools. Tools to increase whatever business you're in, get new leads, and get new members so we can grow together. And if you found something that you like in this session, and if I'm able to, give you one word, one term, something, and it works, make sure you share it with someone else. I would love to have a guest next week or a few new members. So, prepare your questions. I'm about to go to the questions, so we're wrapping up soon. So submit your questions and say live. Say, if you're asking the question and you want to come on live, say live. So that way Valerie knows that those questions that you're going to ask are going to be live, and then we'll put you up on the screen with us when we're there. So get ready for it. Submit your questions. Add the word live if you want to be live. And I'm going to bring Jen back up, and then we can ask Jen questions, or you can ask myself questions. I hope you enjoy the session, and I'm looking forward to meeting you soon, seeing you in person for those that I haven't, and maybe seeing you in your part of the country or your part of the world. Here we go. We got Serge. Can you see him?
How you doing, Jen?
Good. How are you?
I am unbelievable. Let me tell you, that was you almost had me in tears. I almost had to bring out the tissue. Really heartfelt message. But my question to you was the following: how have you applied the lessons you've learned from this extremely motivational, inspirational person for you?
I've learned how to see the world in a different light. Disabilities aren't, I wouldn't say they aren't there, but I don't see them. I phase them out, and I just look at the person and what the person is capable of. Okay.
And so how's that translated into your everyday life? I mean, I know that you don't see it, but how do you actually apply it, and how do you use it to make your life better?
I just take one day at a time, and I don't take people for granted. I know that everybody has value, everybody has worth, and treat people with dignity.
That's awesome. Thank you.
You're doing great, girl. Smile. Have a good time with it. It's not easy, but you know what? That one message can be the message that person was looking for. Hey, Joyce, how you doing?
Good. Hey, Jen. You chose a career. You used an initial for it, like it's a home health care worker. You said P something. I'm supposing a home health care worker, but you chose that career, or were you thrust into it?
I chose it.
Okay, you chose it. And then you had this big learning experience. So you chose this. You came into her house the first day, or maybe when you knew you were going to be assigned to this, did you have some apprehension?
Sure I did. I didn't know the character of the lady or how the household functioned.
Would you have had that same apprehension if she was not disabled? Or was it
yeah.
a disability?
Yeah, because I'm skeptical of every person I meet.
Oh, but you chose a career that was going to put you in very close proximity. You didn't turn into, like a person back in a laboratory that isn't around people. You chose a career that's around people in their home, very personal, but you were skeptical. So what made you choose that career?
Loving people. I love to be around people and learn from people.
So you really set yourself like a really big stretch goal there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know, because you were skeptical, but you love. So those are like kind of like opposites, huh? But you said, put myself in this position where I'm around people really closely in their home. That's
it's a little contradictory, but I can
no, it's awesome. You set that for yourself. That's like a big round of applause. You put yourself in an environment where it was like unnatural to, you know, this fear, skeptical. You didn't want to be that. So you said, well, I'm pushing the envelope. I'm going somewhere else. I'm stepping into this new thing. That's awesome. That's totally, totally awesome.
Yes, it is.
There's where the learning started. The learning started when you chose the career choice. Whoa. That was brave. That's courage. That's authentic. That's your own personal development. You said, I'm taking charge of my life. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joyce.
Yeah, thank you for doing that, Jen, because you're going to change the world.
That's right.
Thank you.
An anonymous viewer asked, Jen, at what point did you really appreciate this woman, before or after you lost her?
Well, before. I learned so much from her. And if I can only give a piece of that to each person I meet, it's well worth it. Do I miss her? Yes. But she left her mark on this earth.
How do you do things different now, though? Once you've had this lesson, how do you handle things different now when you meet people?
After the 10 years?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't assume when I meet people. You just meet a shell. So to get to the inner person, it takes a while. Remember to take time with people.
That's great.
When you joined Mastermind, what did you expect to get out of the group?
I just hope to gain a little wisdom and learn how to persevere.
Okay, have you gotten some of that?
Yeah.
And also push you. We push you a little harder. I'm going to go ahead and say bye-bye. Thank you so much. It was huge.
Thank you.
It's amazing, and I really mean it. You've done a great job, and we felt your heart. The story was wonderful, and keep doing what you're doing. Like Joyce says, you know, I love that. That was a round of applause.
Yeah.
That was great. All right, glad to have you, and I'll talk to you soon. Let me go ahead and finish this. Like I said, I'll keep it between the hour. There's no more questions. You guys were great. This was awesome. I will be communicating with you guys in the Mastermind group on Facebook, and I'm going to be giving some exercises and other stuff there. So really excited. Group is growing immensely. We're growing really fast, and it's just great. This is even better than what I expected. But if you do things from your heart and you do things the right way, you'll be surprised at how much you'll succeed. All right, guys, my name is Bert Oliva. And remember to live life and don't let life live you. I will see you next week.
Register online and join us today for all new live interviews and weekly topics only at themastermindcircle.com.